Yo, what's going on, Aztec Warriors? All right, today we're gonna jump into one of the best pre-race or pre-long run meals that you can have to give you that energy to last the entire run. All right, let's jump into it. Woo! Oh yeah! We're getting here into the kitchen to show you guys what you want to eat before you get out on the road. All right, now, so what I want to recommend to you guys is there's 5 things that you can eat before you go out for any kind of long run to give you energy, or if you have your competition that you have coming up for the fall, whenever. Now, the 5 things before I jump into the 2 that I recommend are either bananas, either bagels, oatmeal, energy bars, for example, like the Cliff bars that are really high in carbs, and then after the final one is a meal replacement shake. An example would be like Ensure, you know, the ones that like the old people would take. Let me get my Ensure. Those. Now, the reason that those 5 are highly recommended is because they are very high in carbs. And that's a good thing, because what tends to happen is when you're sleeping, what tends to keep you alive while you're sleeping is you have 2 places that your body stores carbs in the form called glycogen. Now, the first one is actually in your muscles, and the day before when you do your carb loading for your long run or your competition, your muscles tend to store that glycogen, and because they're not moving while you're sleeping, they're still there. So the place where glycogen is consumed is in your liver, which is roughly located in this region here, and your liver, roughly about 50% of your glycogen reserves are depleted, and as a result in the morning, that's when you're hungry. But the good thing is that it keeps you alive, which is always a plus. Now, a lot of the information that I'm going to be sharing with you, I highly recommend this book here, Performance Nutrition by Matt Fitzgerald. He's a highly renowned writer, runner, author, coach of all these different books and running athletes, and you name it, he's covered it. Injuries, nutrition, I can't think of the other one, the timing of your racing as well, and how to train for them. So I've learned a lot from him. This is a lot of the stuff that I'm gonna cover today comes from his book, so highly recommend it. Now, the 2 that I recommend is oatmeal and bananas. Oh yes. These bad boys have helped me to get through some of my most grueling competitions or just long runs, because you get up and you're just like, and these bad boys give you a great amount of energy, as well as they help you to feel full. Because the thing, like for example, those energy bars or those meal replacements, is that you don't really feel too full afterwards. Now, before I go into actually preparing that, I also want to cover how you want to roughly eat about 2 hours beforehand. And it should be anywhere between 300 to 400 calories. Because if you wait any longer or closer to your competition, what's going to end up happening is when you start running, you may start cramping. You may need to take the biggest shit of your life. Or you might need to throw up. Yeah! Let's just say that's happened quite a few times, all of it. So from my experience, learn from my mistakes and definitely eat 2 hours in advance. One of the benefits to eating that far in advance before your competition, a lot of them, they start at about 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning. So you would roughly want to eat, if it's a 7 a.m. start, about 5 a.m. And the benefit to that is it also gives you enough time to process whatever you have in your digestive tract, so that, bottom line, you can have a yeah, right before you start your long run or big competition, you're probably gonna need to take the biggest shit of your life, but you're gonna feel so much better when you get to that starting line. Now, the only other thing that I recommend is that you don't want to have, really it doesn't matter what kind of carb you eat, but you don't want to have anything that will cause you to have gas. For example, onions. Why people will have onions before their race, I don't know. Well, actually, let's say you have scrambled eggs and you put some vegetables in there, because if you put stuff like that, that will cause you to have gas. Well, let's just say, yeah, I remember the first time that I passed a lady and let out the biggest fart of my life. She was like, ooh, excuse you, bitch, I'm gonna shit myself if I don't let it out. So, I had to let it out. What do you expect? That's another tip for you guys. If you ever have to fart or burp, please let it out, or you're gonna get diarrhea, or if you have the feeling of wanting to throw up. So just let it out. Trust me, it's much better for you. You'll feel so much happier. All right, now I recommend you have 1 banana for your pre-race meal, and then afterwards 3/4 cups of oatmeal. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to prepare the oatmeal. Now, what you want to do, what I do for mine is I pretty much put all of my oatmeal in this bin here, and then afterwards I have a measuring cup, level it out, boom, this is a 1/4 cup. Now here, what I'm doing is I'm putting in 3/4 cups. So, boom, there's your 3/4 cups. And then afterwards, what I do as well is I put 1 packet of Splenda in. This will help to reduce the carbs that you have in here, or pretty much not to have the sugar overload in there. And then afterwards, the final touch, I put a palmful of raisins in here, so that adds a little bit more flavor to it. All right, this is ready. So what I do is add water, put it in the microwave for 90 seconds or 1.5 minutes, and then it'll be ready to go. And voila, look at that. Looks delicious. Oh. So this is my 3/4 cups of oatmeal with my banana. This is my pre-race meal that I have before any kind of long runs or any kind of competitions. And with the Splenda and raisins in here, trust me, it is sweet enough so that you're going, oh, nice. Oh. So good. Like, I have trained myself to love this meal. It is so amazing. Like, literally, if you have a sweet tooth, like I mentioned earlier, this is sweet enough to fulfill your craving. The other reason that I really like oatmeal is because what tends to happen is you wake up and you get to the start line, you're kind of feeling like hungry, and you're like, ah, shit, did I eat enough? But the cool thing is that oatmeal is so filling. I mean, you pretty much saw in the bowl that like it almost to the top of the bowl. So this plus the banana, oh, you will be topped, ready to go. And the other thing too that I'll cover is, so this total comes to a grand total of 335 calories, a grand spanking 68 grams of carbs, 9 grams of protein, and only 4 grams of fat. So the reason you want to have something that is high in carbs, because again, that's going to give you enough carbs so that it can convert it into glycogen so that your muscles go boom, 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 boom. Yeah, let's keep going. Oh. And you want to have something that's low in fat and low in protein, because if you have something like eggs or a protein bar that has a lot of protein, or even a protein shake, what tends to happen is you'll be back here again. One final recommendation for you guys. Now, this is the meal that I recommend for you guys to have, but I also highly advise you to try to practice eating this before your long runs, because what tends to happen is sometimes, maybe for example, the banana just doesn't sit well with you, or the oatmeal may be too filling. So play around with it, or like I said, of those 5 different things you can have in the beginning of the video, that try a couple different variations of those. Maybe you need something a little bit lighter on your stomach so you don't feel as full. But definitely do it all before you actually get to your race competition. Whether it's a half marathon or a marathon, you never, ever want to try something new on the day of your competition, because that is a surefire way for you to just mess yourself up and have so many issues. So you want to practice this, make it a ritual, a routine, a rhythm to your song every single time you go out for one of your long runs, so that by the time you actually get to your competition, you're gonna be ready. Your stomach is gonna be able to handle whatever food that you decide to intake, if it's this meal I recommend to you guys or anything else, and you'll be ready to go. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate the support. Please share this with all of your running buddies so that you are filled up, ready to go for your runs. And share this video, comment, subscribe. New videos every Wednesdays and Fridays. And I'll see you guys out on the roads. Until next time, Aztec Warriors. Woo! Oh my God, this is so hilarious.